if it comes with a tomato,
is not
might
a
not
$100 burger.
might not be $100 burger.
What if it's some kind of special tomato?
What kind of tomato would that be?
Maybe it's like a glittering what's a very delectable color? Orange tomato.
No.
Purple special.
Tomato's still a tomato.
Just the what if it's a tomato that's made of spiced, dried, cured ketchup, only in the form of a tomato?
No. No. I don't care how you dress it up. It's still shouldn't be on my burger.
Oh, okay. So, oh, Matthew. So what did you think of the burger? It was put in front of you. You took that tomato off, took a bite. What'd you think?
Had some good weight to it. It was a good Dépanneur burger. A great Dépanneur burger.
Yeah, as far as Dépanneur burgers go,
Like,
since it's the first one we've ever tried.
Exactly. I'd be proud to have barbecued this myself.
Mm-hmm.
It tasted good. The patty itself just had something to it. It had a weight. It had a. I don't know what I was tasting. It just tasted a little different than other burgers. It had a lot of. Help me out here. What did you think of your burger? Let me try and
see if it's the same.
Turn my taste thoughts into words.
So I did really, really like the patty.
Okay.
The patty was a big highlight of it. It did have some weight to it. It was pretty juicy. It was well seasoned. Had some nice flavor. When I bit into it, there was still a little bit of pinkness. Just to let you know that this is nice fresh meat. Still a little pink, and it was crumbly. It had a really nice texture. That when you bit into it, it wasn't a well formed, tight, well minced patty. It was crumbling beef, so you really got to enjoy the bits of beef in your mouth. Is that something you were trying to say, Matthew?
It is, and I want to add that cheese on top really helped keep that meat together too.
That's true.
The cheese went a long way to hold it together, but not too much.
As mine also had a Kraft single style cheese on it,
Yeah.
and it's true. It was sort of like for crumbly beef, that melted cheese all over it kind of held the patty together in a nice little way.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you basically said it all. The word I was looking for was flavor.
Flavor,
Right. And it really choked me up.
And even the presentation, very simple, but good. They put a nice toothpick in it to hold it all together, and a single slice of pickle on top as like a decoration that the toothpick was pushed through. And that was such a simple little touch, but a really nice appreciated touch. It's nothing for them to use one single pickle on the top of a burger, but gives a little something.
It's true. There were more pickles inside.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. I want to make sure you had the same ordeal I went through. I had to remove the pickles.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Didn't have to. I mean, it's just what I do. But, they weren't bad pickles. And you're right, the little touch on top was nice. I like when someone puts something on top of a toothpick and it's not an olive.
I wouldn't mind it on olive, actually.
Well, you're not getting a hero sandwich.
No, I mean, I've had an olive on top of a burger before in this show.
Really?
Yeah, that when we went to Méchant-Bœuf in the Old Port.
Okay. Wow, I don't like olives either, but it rarely comes up.
You don't like a lot of things. It's a good thing you like burgers.
Yeah.
Matthew, on our way back, I had to use the washroom. By the time I got back home,
it's okay.
I really had to use the washroom.
It's normal. Don't worry about it.
But, Matthew, Montreal is investing, again, in public washrooms. Since 1977, they had many public washrooms throughout the 1900s, and in 1977, the mayor decreed that they be shut down. He was concerned about public sex acts being done in the public washrooms, and he just shut them down, forcing everyone to have public sex in the forest of Mount Royal. Now, years later, public sex seems to be less of an issue, or we care less about it, and the mayor is investing $3.5 million into like a dozen new public washrooms. You were telling me, Matthew, that you don't think it's a good idea.
Flushing that money right down the toilet, Sebastien.
Oh, well done, Matthew. Well done. Why don't you think it's a good idea? Because I do think it's a good idea.
Only because you have to go to the bathroom a lot. when you're.
I suppose so. I mean, sometimes after a night of drinking, I leave the bar. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I've got a 45-minute walk home. What am I going to do? Just not pee at all? And I'm walking through areas that don't have like a McDonald's that I could just pee in. I just got to walk through neighborhoods. What am I going to do? Find a nice alley and relieve myself. If I got a ticket for every time I've publicly urinated, I would be flat broke, Matthew. I wouldn't have a thing to my name. Assuming that's like a $40 ticket.
Yeah.
Good grief. Sometimes I pee 2 times on my way home.
I don't understand.
It's a long walk home. That's an expensive walk home. Might as well just take a cab at that point.
Yeah. Why can't you just use the facilities at the establishment that you are leaving?
Well, I could once and then still might have to.
And you can't make it 40 minutes home?
Well, it depends on how much I drank right before leaving.
Your bladder cannot hold 40 minutes worth of
see, Matthew, you're not as heavy a drinker as I am, but alcohol is a diuretic. The more alcohol you drink, the more you have to pee. It's not like drinking water or soda. You have to pee more often with alcohol or coffee.
Okay, so I can understand 3 a.m. You've been at the bar. You have to go to the washroom. You're halfway home. Yeah. Then that's the only time I could picture a public washroom seeming like a good idea. Any other time, and even when you go in that public washroom at 3 a.m, it's not going to be a pretty sight. What do you think these public washrooms are going to look like? They're not going to look like your grandparents' washroom.
No,
it's not going to be a little bowl of mints and like some air fresheners.
Your grandparents keep mints in the washroom?
No, I guess that would be weird.
Mints is a bad food. It should not be in the washroom.
Most food should not be in the washroom. No, you're right. But I'm saying...
I noticed you said most.
Most foods, yes. There are some
what's the
foods.
Exception?
Shower foods. You got a little pantry in the shower for snacks.
Yeah, like what? What's a good shower snack?
Things that won't get...
soggy?
Won't matter if they get wet.
Like what?
Well, things that are individually wrapped, like a Twinkie.
Yeah, well, that matters if that gets wet.
It does, but it's all tightly wrapped.
All right. Okay.
I'm just saying. I don't have one now. It's a dream.
All right.
A little shower pantry.
Yeah.
But these are not going to be good-looking washrooms. They're probably going to start off beautiful. Mm-hmm. They're going to be like, this is what the 3 million and change went to, but give it a week. I give it a week.
Apparently, these washrooms are going to be self-cleaning washrooms.
The only thing, you can get a self-cleaning toilet, which is what, just water running through it on a timed cycle?
I have no clue what a self-cleaning washroom would be. Does it just have like fire sprinklers to like just hose the whole thing down once in a while? I don't understand.
Just every hour or something, this red light goes brr, brr. You got to leave.
Stuck on the toilet like, no, just I'm not done.
Hot like steam just burns everything off. Then a bunch of little Roombas come in and just clean it up real quick.
Yeah.
And
scrubbing around. They drive up the walls.
Yeah. Feel like Minority Report. Something like that.
Yeah.
No, I believe it's more of just I think if someone drops something on the ground, that will not be self-cleaned. If somebody does graffiti, that will not be self-cleaned. If somebody, and they will steal all the toilet paper. Because people love stealing anything. And I would say anything that's not bolted down, but people will bring things to unbolt those things.
What if I was going to say, what if it's got its own toilet paper? What if like the toilet paper dispensers are locked?
They'll break them.
Or what if you you walk in and you got to put a quarter in for some toilet paper?
Then someone will break it, take the toilet paper and all the quarters.
Well, I mean, you're presuming that every public phone has been destroyed.
A lot of them have been.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Do you see them anymore? They're always broken and smashed.
There's a couple. I see some in the metro. There's one on Demaisonneuve.
And you're telling me now that these are going to be self-cleaning, which means less humans down there, like less people who work for the city or at least work for that washroom.
Yeah,
there's going to be no monitoring.
Well, they might have a security camera in the entrance of it or something.
It's going to get broken. It's going to get spray painted over.
I've never seen. Maybe I have more faith in Montrealers than you do.
There are so many homeless people, and the homeless people are going to make that their home.
Not if once every 2 hours it just sprays really hot water.
Yeah, but that probably won't happen. Those are just pipe dreams. To me, there's public washrooms everywhere. You just need to know where to look. You're walking down the street and go into a food court. going to a Concordia.
No, well, not
going to
not after hours, not at 3 in the morning when I need a public washroom. What am I, a second-class citizen because I'm a drunk and I go out at night and I help the economy, spending money?
You're helping the economy.
Yeah, man. I'm keeping the wheels of this machine turning, spending money, paying sales taxes on my liquor, peeing in alleys.
Yeah, I guess. Have you ever thought about maybe a colostomy bag? That might be useful. Cadone Janko colostomy bags.
Ooh, branding. No, I haven't ever thought about that because the convenience of being a man and being able to pee in an alley has always been enough for me. If I was a lady, I might have to reconsider things because, discreetly peeing in an alley is not as easy.
Ladies do it too. It's just a little messier.
It's less discreet as well.
Definitely.
Also, I feel like there's a certain camaraderie sometimes in alley peeing. Like just a few weeks ago, I went to pee in an alley, and it was downtown. Honestly, with a little patience, I could have walked a couple blocks to a restaurant that would have let me use their washroom. Or maybe I would have had to spend money to use their washroom. I guess that goes back to helping the economy. But I was peeing in an alley, and some guys walked by, and they were like, hey, he's peeing in the alley. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then they're like, oh, no, it's cool. We were just peeing in that alley. And then they look over. It's like, hey, our buddy's peeing in that alley. Hey, man. And so, there was like, we're all in the same boat here together, man.
There's no sense of ownership
of alleys.
Alleys, yeah.
Nah, man.
You're not marking territory. That's not what
Certainly
it's all
not.
about.
Certainly not. Simply relieving yourself.
You're under the impression now, though, that these public washrooms are going to just be where you need them to be at the moment your bladder is ready to go, because, like you just said, you're not going to walk 2 extra blocks to get to a public washroom. And there's only 12 of these things being built.
Yeah, okay, you're making a good point here.
I think you start off small. Start off with 12 porta potties. See if those don't get destroyed, and have families living them. I think self-cleaning is just a way to say that nobody's coming to check up on these things. The toilet will flush automatically, and that is a self-cleaning toilet.
Well, I'm looking forward
until
to
somebody
these toilets,
steals the batteries.
Matthew, I'm going to make a vow.
Okay.
That if I'm within 8 blocks
of
a public toilet, when I need to use the toilet, I will not pee in an alley. I will pee in a public toilet.
Yeah,
I will
this
try
is sober Sebastien speaking.
That's true. Well,
I need to hear a promise from Sebastien at 3 a.m, who has a bladder like a
like a thimble,
dime
apparently.
bag.
Yeah,
a little.
But I'm gonna say 8 blocks because I'm thinking realistically. I think 10 blocks I would not have the patience.
Okay.
And I was thinking 5 blocks, but that's really not that much. So 8 blocks, splitting the difference, like the difference between 5 and 10-minute rice.
Yeah.
Splitting the difference, 8 blocks. That's when I'll use a public restroom, and I will try to be a respectable patron of the public washrooms. I will not graffiti. I will not break or steal things. I will use them as intended, and I encourage all other Montrealers to do the same.
We should put up stickers in them. Cadone Janko stickers. Let's do a little bit of graffiti.
Okay.
Tasteful graffiti.
I like that.
Now,
Matthew, at the same time, shouldn't we be thinking also of other citizens, not just the late night drunks, but also maybe the homeless people do have somewhere to use the washroom now?
Oh, I think it would be fine if they have somewhere to use the washroom, but they're going to use that washroom. And then
pregnant ladies.
Okay, you're a pregnant lady, don't use a public washroom.
Well, you've got extra pressure on your bladder. You do have to use the washroom more.
Just don't. I mean, yeah, use
just don't.
The closest thing to a public washroom you should be using is like a restaurant, a food court public washroom, a mall public washroom.
Yeah.
Don't go to one of these likely to be very shady washrooms where people are just doing drugs and having intercourse.
What if they're very well lit?
This is the mayor from the 70s had it right. And is he still alive?
No, he's long dead.
Well, he's rolling in his grave now. That this other mayor is being like, well, forget about the 70s mayor. Let's spend $3 million and just reverse everything he did to make this city great.
He did a lot of things to make this city great, and most of them were very corrupt. But, you got to take the good with the bad.
No.
Speaking of spending millions of dollars on the city.